Hello, I'm Philip Mai. I'm the co-director of the Social Media Lab in Toronto. Today, I'll be sharing with you some information and insights from a rapid response COVID-19 project that we launched last year. But before I start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our lab. We are a research unit at Ryerson University Ted Rogers School of Management in Toronto, Canada. We study how social media is changing the way people communicate, share information, and form communities online, and how these changes impact society. The lab is led by myself and Dr. Anatoly Gruz, our Director of Research. Our research foci is wide and varied. We usually have 6 or 7 projects undergo at any point from one of these 8 areas: academia, analytics, health, privacy, misinformation, online community, social media use, and politics. The project that I'm presenting on today is from our health and misinformation research stream. Since the first lockdown, social media has emerged as a lifeline for people to connect to friends, families, and coworkers, as well as to get news and information about the virus. For example, last year, just on Facebook alone, there were over 200 million posts and nearly 30 billion interactions related to COVID-19. But this increasing reliance on social media is not without its problem. Social media is well established as a vector in the spread of misinformation. Last spring, the WHO and other public health agencies had to mobilize to push back against a wave of misinformation about the virus. For example, the WHO had to produce these infographics to let people know that drinking methanol, ethanol, or bleach does not prevent or cure COVID-19, and that 5G mobile networks do not spread COVID-19. To find out how bad the COVID-19 misinformation problem is, last year we asked 1,500 people where they get their news about COVID-19 from, how often they encounter misinformation on this topic, and what do they do about it. As you can see from the infographic, COVID-19 misinformation was reported present on a wide variety of social media platforms. 68% of our respondents reported encountering COVID-19 misinformation on social media. Left unchallenged, misinformation may increase people's fear and may cause them to act irrationally. It may also increase people's chances of becoming victims of identity thefts, put the public and frontline medical worker at risk of being harmed by people who have been misled, and it also undermines the work of public health officials and political leaders. To help tackle the spread of COVID-19 misinformation, last year we launched the COVID-19 Misinfo.org portal in order to shine a spotlight on COVID-19 misinformation for the public and as a way to study and understand the prevalence and spread of COVID-19 misinformation. The portal is funded by the Canadian Institute of Health Research, Compute Canada, and the WHO. The portal has 6 different modules, including 3 COVID-19 Misinformation Dashboard, a COVID-19 bots dashboard that can spot the use of automation on Twitter, a link to the Misinfo survey report that I mentioned earlier, and a link to some fact-checking and COVID-19 resources. To check them all out, please visit the COVID-19 Misinfo.org website. For today, we will focus on the Misinformation Dashboard module. The Misinformation Dashboard module contains 3 dashboards: the COVID Global Misinformation Dashboard, the COVID Geo Misinformation Dashboard, and the COVID Canada News Dashboard. The benefit of these dashboards is that they let users see the latest debunked COVID-19 claims from around the world in one place. The rest of this presentation today will focus on the first 2 dashboards, the COVID Global and the COVID Geo. The COVID Global Misinformation Dashboard tracks and visualizes debunked coronavirus claims from hundreds of fact-checkers from around the world. With the COVID Global Dashboard, users can track what fact-checkers around the world have chosen to fact-check. They can use it to discover when there are spikes in the volume of debunked COVID claims. They can use it to see what types of COVID claims are currently circulating online. And then they can read up on each of the debunked claims. Now I'll tell you a little bit about how we get this data and how we process it. So daily, we use a custom Python script to collect all fact-check claims that include keywords coronavirus or COVID from the Google Fact Check Tools API. We then automatically translate all non-English claims, usually about 54% of all claims, into English. Next, we standardize the truthfulness rating for each of the fact check we receive from the various fact checkers. To enable our work, we've adopted a simplified rating system with 4 mutually exclusive categories: true, false, misleading, and unproven. True is when a fact checker receives a claim and deem that it's truthful in its entirety. False is when a fact checker reviews a claim and deem that it's false in its entirety. Misleading is when a fact checker reviews a claim and deems that the claim contains some level of falsehood. And lastly, unproven. A fact checker reviews a claim and deems that a claim is not possible to prove currently, either due to a lack of scientific knowledge or other reasons. One of the reasons why we had to develop a more simplified rating system is because we needed to neutralize the Tower of Babel effect found within the rating ecosystem. Fact checkers around the world use a variety of rating systems. Some groups use a numerical system, for example, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Others uses a color-coded or pictorial system. For example, the Washington Post uses pictures of Pinocchio, and some uses a textual system, true, mostly false, etc. This variability in the rating system makes it difficult for users to judge the truthfulness level of a debunked claim. Lastly, we manually review each claim to ensure data integrity and quality, and then categorize the claims into one of 11 common claim types. Please visit COVID19misinfo.org to get more info about each of the 11 claim types. Next, I want to tell you a bit about the COVID Geo Misinformational Dashboard. This dashboard tracks and visualizes debunked COVID claims that mention or reference a specific geographic location, such as a country or a city. To identify claims mentioning a particular geographic location, we use a natural language processing library to analyze claims as they come in. With this dashboard, users can learn which countries are more frequently a target of COVID claims, to see what types of COVID claims are circulating online that specifically mention or reference a geographic location, and discover when there are spikes in the volume of debunked COVID claims, and they can read up on each of the debunked claims. Similar to our COVID Global Dashboard, there's a timeline at the top. You can mouse over the timeline to see specific claims for a particular time range. You can also use the included map visualization to view claims that specifically reference a unique geographic location. It helps users to easily see which countries are magnet for COVID-19 misinformation. You can also check out what claim types are popular for different countries and read up on each of the claims. In closing, I want to go over some lessons learned from 1 year of looking at COVID-19 misinformation. Number one, misinformation starts from the top. Governments and public health agencies are contributing to the infodemic. To instill confidence, set expectation. Reiterate again and again that this is a new virus and that recommendation will change with more data. And there needs to be more coordination between agencies within each country. Agree on common terms of reference and revisit them often. And to account for regional differences and a media ecosystem not bounded by geography, clearly state who is the intended audience for any new announcement. Second, social media influencers already have an audience. Instead of trying to build up an audience in the midst of fighting a pandemic, draft influencer into the effort early. They already have a built-in audience. Create scientifically accurate content that can be mixed and remixed, thus allowing for some creativity and personal branding by influencer and the public. Third, work with domain registrar to act against fraudulent COVID-19 websites. New websites are an important vector for the spread of COVID-19 misinformation. Halt all automated registration of domains with words related to COVID-19. All related domain registration must be vetted by a human. This is something that we probably should remember for the next pandemic. Reach out to the registrar early. Work with mainstream media to implement the old or outdated article feature. This will reduce the number of old stories that gets weaponized and recirculated as new by bad actors. And lastly, run PSA about the infodemic and educate people on how to develop and practice digital hygiene. Teach people that it's socially acceptable to retract and delete inaccurate posts that they might have shared. Thank you for listening to my presentation today. For more information about this project, please go to COVID19misinfo.org or you can visit our lab's website at socialmedialab.ca. Thank you.